اوكي السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. مساء الخير. Good evening, guys. Inshallah, right now we will start the second day of our boot camp. Okay, so yesterday we we studied the theoretical part of the Godot engine. Okay, and we learned how to download the engine, okay, from the Godot website. Um, Just in case you didn't download it yesterday, I'm gonna send it right now really quickly, just so we can make sure everyone has it. And by the way, guys, I am actually sharing my screen, so just in case you didn't know. If you can't see it, try exiting and entering. If anyone has any question, please write it in the chat, and I can actually see it on my iPad, okay? So, because I have it, okay? Okay, so right now I just sent you the link for how to download Godot, okay? Download this one, click here, choose this one, and that's how you download Godot. Okay, so yeah, last time we downloaded the engine, okay, so, and I had it extracted here. So you're just gonna open it like last time. Okay. So like I said, I myself have a lot of projects, so you're gonna see all of these. Can we review yesterday's part real quick where we created the scene and stuff? Okay, yeah, we're gonna do that. Don't worry. So, like I said, I have a couple of games I made, so don't worry about them. The project I made yesterday, I titled it My Cool Game, so we're just gonna open that. If you didn't follow us yesterday, just create a new project, okay? And you can see the details in the previous lecture. And yes, we're gonna have حيكون في شهادات أيوة. Um, so basically what we did yesterday is, first of all, after we created this project, we went into the project settings, first of all, and we went to window here, and we changed the screen width to 360. Okay, and the screen height, we changed it to 720. And also, we set the stretch mode to canvas item, okay, and the aspect to keep. So this is just so the game could stretch correctly, and there wouldn't be any sort of awkward, pixels. It would be unnaturally stretched. So canvas item makes sure that it's stretched correctly. And the second thing we did, yesterday is that we created our first scene. We called it game, okay? The root of the scene is a node called the canvas layer, okay? And we just added a simple background. The type of the node here is a color rect, okay? And we set the color to this turquoise color. And then we saved the scene to disk. And other than that, we did not do anything, okay? So we basically just created our first scene. Okay, can you create one from scratch? It's okay if not, because I didn't do my homework. I forgot. Can you please repeat what we should do now? He's repeating. Okay, so like I said, just do the thing with the settings, the size, and I just wanted to create this scene. It's titled game, and it has this as a child. Okay, so right now, what I want to do is that we're gonna create another scene now, okay? The player scene. But first of all, before I forget, the game we're gonna make. I'm really sorry, but I forgot to talk about it at the start. Um, I sent a GIF of it in the morning, like at 7 a.m. There it is. You can view it here in higher resolution. If I can just reply to this, wait. Um, you can view it in the chat. Basically, this is the game we are going to program. Okay, so we're gonna program this game, and I even sent you the assets. Okay, the artwork and music we're gonna make. I sent it. Wait. It should be around here somewhere. Wait. There they are. The assets for today. I'm just gonna copy them just in case, and I'm gonna send them again. Assets. Here they are. It should be a pinned message, by the way, but here they are. So I want you to download these files. Okay, so I'm gonna try downloading them right now. I'm gonna click on the link, and it's gonna open up my browser. Okay, so and notice it's gonna start downloading a file. Okay, so once the file has finished downloading, just click on this icon. I'm using Firefox, by the way, and you're gonna see, this folder. Basically, I want you to right-click on it. On iPad, well, ideally you'd be using a computer, okay? You should be using a computer. We're gonna click on Extract All, okay? By the way, I'm using Windows, so if you're using Mac OS or Linux, it's probably going to be a bit different, but I'm sure you'll figure it out on your own. We're basically going to extract this to wherever we put the our video game, okay? So by default, it should be in your document, and now you're going to look for your project folder, okay? So I'm sorry, I'm talking a bit too fast. Basically, look, all I did was just download the assets folder, okay, from this website, and uh, okay, just with the steps. Okay, um, and here it is. So this is the asset folder. Okay, so it's gonna download, and yeah, you're just gonna right click on it, like I said. We're gonna extract it. Okay, so I have to watch yesterday's lecture. You know what? So I see a lot of you have not did not do yesterday's project. So just so we're all on the same page, okay, right now, I'm gonna quit this project and we're gonna start from scratch. Okay, just so all of you can be on the same page. Okay, we all want to follow along. Okay, so right now, all of you need to have downloaded Godot, okay? I'm gonna assume you just downloaded Godot and you just set up the engine. Okay? Is this good with everyone? Did anyone have any problems regarding downloading Godot? So okay, I'm gonna assume, okay, you have to, that's great. All good, okay, so you downloaded Godot. Like I said, you're not gonna see all of this because I make games using Godot. I have all of these projects, okay? But for you, it should be empty. So right now, sorry, wait, let me delete this. So the way we're gonna create a project in Godot is we're gonna go to the top left. We're gonna click on Create. Okay. And now you have to name your project. So I'm gonna name it. I'm gonna name it Date Bootcamp. You can name it. You should name it something like your first game, but I'm gonna name it Bootcamp Day 2. Okay, because well, it's day 2 today, or just Bootcamp game. You can name it whatever you want. So notice that by default, your game will be at the documents, okay? Here I have my, my user. and the project by default will be in the documents. And honestly, I would recommend keeping it in the document just in case you forgot where it is. Okay, so just keep it as is. And when it comes to the renderer, just keep the renderer to compatibility. Compatibility makes sure that it works on all devices, okay? Now for the version control metadata, we're just going to choose none. So please don't worry about that. Okay, so, and make sure edit now is checked because we're going to edit it now. Okay, so up to this point, does anyone have any problems? Okay, has anyone encountered any issues regarding this page specifically? Or, okay, that's really good. Simply, all we're going to do now is click on create. And what's going to happen is that it should create the project now. Okay, so it just created the project. So the first thing I'm gonna do, before we forget, is that I'm gonna go. I already did all of this, but it's set on forward. It's okay. Don't worry about it. It should work just fine. Compatibility just like makes sure it works on like really old devices. But don't worry. Forward is also good. What's next? Nice, nice. You downloaded the asset. That's good. Don't worry. Two monitors is such a blessing when following a tutorial. Yes, I agree. Um, okay, so right now I'm just going to go to the top left and I'm going to click on project. Okay. Now I'm going to click on project settings. And now when I see this window, I'm simply going to navigate to window. Okay. If you can't find window, you can just look it up here, window. Okay. It should be the first thing that shows up. And Uh, now the viewport width, I'm gonna change it to 360. Okay, this is the width of the screen. Okay, and the height of the screen, I'm gonna set it to 720. Sorry. Okay, so right now I just made two changes. I changed the screen width or the viewport width and the viewport height. By the way, in Godot we refer to the screen as the viewport. Okay. So right now I'm gonna want you to scroll down a bit. Yeah, when you reach stretch, I want you to set the mode to canvas item, okay? And I want you to keep the aspect as keep, okay? And that's it, okay? Just those three changes in the settings. Okay, so you were downloading the engine, so you don't have the assets. The assets are in the chat, okay? So as you can see here, I have it pinned. If you click on the pinned post, uh, looks like it got removed. Here it is. Can someone just wait? There we go. Thank you, Lily, for sending the assets. You can see them here. Lily sent them. Okay, so perfect. Okay, so now we're done with the settings. I want you to download. What is it? Just download the file that Lily sent. Okay. I need you to download it. So you just click on it right here. When you click on it, it's gonna open this page in your browser, okay? It's gonna take a while to verify the link, but um, basically it should start downloading because I just downloaded it, okay? It should start eventually, and it will download this file. Okay, so we're gonna go to the downloads where it just downloaded. Not this, wait. Sorry about that. Okay. It should be here. I just want you to right click it, if you're using Windows, by the way, and we're going to choose extract all. Okay, so we're going to extract it. Extract it where? To the documents where you put your game, okay? you should put it in documents, like I said. Now look for the name of your game. What did you name the project? Just go look for it. I named it Bootcamp. Yeah, Bootcamp game. So I'm gonna select it, and I'm gonna extract the assets here. Okay. Finally, I'm just gonna click on extract, and that's it. Okay. So now when I go back to my project, I should see that something is changing. It's importing the I'm sorry, it looks like it crashed. I'm sorry, my engine crashed. Can someone repeat the project settings? Wait. I'm sorry, my engine just like crashed. That was unexpected. It should be here. Yeah, thank you, Renad, for sharing the settings. Okay. So I'm sorry that my engine crashed. As you can see here, something changed. Right now in my file system where we said we have all the files, right now we have two new folders. One of them is named assets and the other one is named Mac OS. So look, I am not using Mac OS. I am using Windows. So I will delete this one, okay? But if you are using Mac OS, I actually need you to use this one. But because I am a Windows user, I'm gonna delete this, okay? If you are a Windows user, also delete it, okay? So now I am going to look at Dodge assets. As you can see, we have two subdirectories. We have art and we have fonts. Fonts contains just one font. As you can see, we are going to use this font in our game. It's a very nice font. And we're going to close it. And in art, we have all of these beautiful sprites, okay? So these are like the enemies we're going to add to the game, okay? And we even have some music here. This is the game over song, and then we have this other song. And here we have the player, okay? So don't worry, we're gonna like explain all this. Okay, so let's see if y'all are having some problems. Okay, so thank you, Renat, again for sending, and thank you, Lily, for sending the information about the aspect ratio. Thank you, Hala. لازم ويندوز؟ لا مو لازم ويندوز، عادي ماك او اس لينكس كله صح. Delete what? If you are using um, Windows, I want you to delete the Mac OS folder. Okay. Is font a text? Yes. I downloaded my own font. Okay, amazing. That's really cool, actually. Oh, so you got an error because I think you need to delete the wait, Ibrahim, you have an error because you need to delete the Mac OS folder. But don't worry, you don't have to do it. ايش اللي لازم احذفه اذا كنت ويندوز؟ الملف اللي اسمه ماك او اس، اوكي، لان هذا لمستخدمي الماك. تمام. Is this lecture being recorded? Yes, it's being recorded. Okay, so now the first thing I want to do is that I want to create our main scene. Okay, didn't I say yesterday in our theoretical lecture that our game is basically like one big scene that contains other scenes? So I'm going to create our first scene. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to choose other nodes. And here I have all the types of nodes. I'm going to choose canvas layer. Okay, it's good for like your main scene. It's a node used for independent rendering, so it's really good. So we're going to choose it, then create. And as you can see, here we have a canvas layer. Okay, so I'm going to double click it and I'm going to rename it to game. And then as a child, I'm going to add a color rect, which is going to be our background, basically. Okay, I'm going to rename it to background, or just background like this. And I'm going to choose it. And then I'm going to go here to this, the preset. The preset helps me, because this is a green node, right? So because this node is green, it's a UI node, basically. The UI nodes have these, utilities, shortcuts, basically, presets. And because this is a green node, I can just choose one of these presets. I have this one, look, which is like the top of the screen. I have the bottom, the middle, or all the screen. Okay, that's the one I'm going to choose. So, as of right now, I just need you to make a node of type canvas layer, okay? And rename it to game. And then after that, give it a child of type color rect. And then I want you to select this child. And I want you to go to here, to the presets, and choose full screen. Sorry, full rect. Finally, I want you to go to the color, to the inspector, right? The inspector, as I explained yesterday, can view the information of specific nodes. Okay, so when I choose game, I can see all the information in the game node. And if I choose background, I can access all the information in the background node. So I will go to the color attribute and I will change it to a sort of turquoise color, okay? Or any color works, whatever you prefer. And that's it for now. Okay, I'm gonna see if you guys have any issues. I didn't put background. Um, yeah, select color rect. Thank you very much, Renad, for the help. How did you resize it? Um, I basically selected it and I clicked on presets, okay? And then I chose full rect. Now, in order for the preset thing to work, it needs to be a child of a canvas layer, okay? So that's really important. إذا حطيتها الشاشة تختفي. قصدك أي نود بالضبط؟ قصدك الكانفاس لاير ولا الكالر ريكت؟ aren't we supposed to make it 2D first? لا لأن هذا المين scene. No, we don't have to make it 2D first. It's better to make it a canvas layer. Okay. Okay. So right now, does anyone have any problems? So we can fix them. My inspector option is not visible. Uh, Uh, Look, you have to choose the node. So for example, I want to change the color, okay? The color of the background. So I have to choose you have to choose the background node. And then you can see all of its attributes, okay? الشاشة الخضراء ما اقدر اغير حجمها واذا سويت زيك تختفي. لازم تخلي الشاشة النود هذا الكلر ريكت يكون ابن للكانفاس لاير. فامسحيه وعيدي هذا المشهد. حط الكانفاس لاير كأب وكابن له حط الباك جراوند وحتضبط هذه الحركة. Okay, I downloaded assets but I don't know how I can move into Godot. Just go into the documents and put the assets, My full rect is horizontal. Can you show me? If you can show me a video, if you can show me a screenshot, I can help. Miko Blue, okay, amazing. Very good, Lily. Okay, so finally, okay, so Yasser, the reason why amazing, you did good. The reason why your full rect is horizontal is because you actually flipped the width and the height. So go back to the project settings, and I want you to flip the width and the height. يعني عكسهم. These two numbers, you flipped them, you switched them. Uh, okay, this is really cool. Ahad, this is really awesome. This is really, really cool. Um, okay, so right now I'm gonna go into the scene and I'm gonna save this scene. Okay. So I'm gonna see this file inspector, and notice that the name of the file by default is the same name as the scene. Okay, so I named the scene game, and just like that, the file will also be named game. So just save it. You can change it if you want. And notice, right when I saved the scene, it appeared here. So if I were to accidentally close this, for example, how do I open it? I just go here to the file system, and I'll locate my scene and double click it. And here it is. Okay, so now, wait, how to save again? In order to save, go to the top left corner, click on scene, click on save scene. Okay, so right now I want to try running the game. So I'm gonna go to the top left corner and I will click this run icon, or I could press F5 to run the project. Okay, so currently it's telling me that I have yet to select a main scene because Godot does not know that this scene is actually my main scene. So I'm just gonna select the current scene. Okay, and that's it. Butur, it looks like your engine crashed. Try running it again. Maybe your PC is weak. This could happen sometimes. So as you can see, I managed to run the game perfectly fine. Okay, so yeah, you should try running your game too and see if it works. Okay, so we just created our main scene. Okay, so good. I'm glad that it worked for you guys. So great, amazing. What I'm gonna do is that now I'm gonna create the scene of the player. So if you go into the assets, you can see all of these, cute sprites. So now we're going to create our player. Okay, so I'm gonna click on this plus icon to add a new scene. Okay, and you'll notice that we can see a new scene here. Okay, let me zoom out a bit. So, because we are going to create a player, I'm gonna go to other node. Okay, and I'm gonna look for a very specific node. Okay, I'm gonna look for a node called the area 2D. Okay, so just type area 2D. So, what is this node? This node is basically really good for when you want to create a simple character, okay? Here it is. So we're gonna make the area 2D, it's gonna be the root of our scene, okay? Didn't I say that the scene itself is a tree of nodes? So the root of our player scene will just be this area 2D. So we're gonna rename this to player, okay? ما ضغط F5 ولا طلعت لي. حاول تضغط على الزر نفسه. Guys, what should I add? Uh, sorry, I can't go back this far. Okay, so right now, did anyone have any? Can you redo the player thing? Okay, I'm gonna delete this. I'm not gonna save it. Okay. Now we are going to create the player scene. Okay, we're gonna click add a new scene. Okay, so add a new scene, and then go to other nodes, and then choose on your keyboard, type area, just type area. And the first node you will see is called the area 2D node. Okay, so I just want you to select it, and that's it. Okay, so we just created the root of our player scene. So I'm gonna rename it to player, okay, just so we could know what we're doing. Player. Okay, so up to this point, is everything clear? Thank you, Hala, for the help. Okay, what's the difference between Area 2D and Character Body 2D? Okay, that's an amazing question, but honestly, it's too early to answer this. The Area 2D is simpler, okay? The Character Body is, used better if you're really serious about collisions. But for now, for this very simple project, the Area 2D is more fitting. But nice question, nice. We're gonna use it, maybe inshallah in the future in a new project. Okay, so now as a child of my player, my player root node, I want to add sprites, right? So I'm gonna add a new child, an animated. It's gonna be an animated sprite 2D. Okay, so I want you to write in your keyboard animated, okay? And you're gonna see a node. It's called the animated sprite 2D. Okay, we talked about it yesterday, so we're gonna create it. And as you can see, now we have the parent node and its player, and then we have the child node, the animated sprite 2D. Okay, and notice they're both giving out errors here or warnings. Did we do anything to the player node other than name it? No, we did not. Right now, we just added a child to it, okay? So, um, notice it's giving me a warning. It's saying that a sprite frames resource must be created or set in the sprite frames property. Okay, so basically, I need you to select the animated sprite 2D and go to the inspector, and it's telling us that the sprite frames property, basically this is where we're going to store the animations. By default, it's empty, okay? But now, I'm going to left click on it. I'm going to choose new sprite frames, okay? And notice, now it's not empty anymore. So if I click on these sprite frames, now notice a new panel opens up in the bottom. Okay, so up to this point, has everyone been able to perform the step? Okay, has everyone been able to add the animated sprite 2D as a child of the player? Okay, amazing. So after you add it, okay, amazing. Okay, great. Okay, so um, basically, what the sprite frames is, well, it's going to contain all our animations, okay? Because if you remember yesterday, we said that the animated sprite 2D not only plays animations, but it also stores them. So they are stored in here, in this resource. So as you can see, we have a lot of options here. Animations on the left and animation frames. For now, we're going to focus on this part. Here we have a default animation, okay? But I don't like this name. So I'm going to click on default and I'm going to rename it to walk. Okay, so on your keyboard, type walk and then type enter. So the reason why I named it walk is because here we actually have two animations. The up animation, you can see it here. You can see the player is swimming up, moving up. He is looking up, And our second animation is called walk. So as you can see, he is walking to the right. So we're going to create two animations. The first one will be called walk, and the second one will be called up. So as you can see, the panel here closed. So how do we open it? We just open the animated sprite again. Just click on it, and it should immediately open. If it doesn't, then just click on this. Okay. So as you can see, we renamed the default animation to walk. So I'm just going to go to the files here. Make sure you have the art open. Simply drag the animation here. And that's it. Now drag the second sprite. And that's it. Now try pressing the play button and it should play. Okay, so up to this point, has everyone been able to perform everything correctly? Has everyone been able to load the animation? ليش ما طلعت الصورة عندك؟ هل قصدك ان انت اصلا ما نزلت الصورة؟ لان الصورة احنا نزلناها من النت. نزلتيهم. طيب حطيتيهم هنا بس ما طلعت بالشاشة للعرض. يمكن انت مسوي زوم ان مرة، حاول تسوي زوم اوت هنا، اضغط على الناقص، يمكن هي طلعت بس اوكي. ياسر you have a problem. I think you should try deleting the Mac OS folder, okay? Because you are using Windows, Windows cannot read this folder, okay? So I want you to delete Mac OS and the error should disappear, okay? Okay. هلا. Oh, sorry, Hala. You actually, in the bottom, you chose the wrong tab, okay? I don't want you to choose animation, no. I want you to click on animated sprite and then click on sprite frames and choose sprite frames, okay? Hala, you choose animation. No, animation is something else. I know it's confusing, but no. You have to choose sprite frames, okay, Hala? Bro, how can I open inspector option back? The inspector should not disappear. I don't. It should always be open. Okay. Okay. You close it by mistake. Okay, good. Okay. So, um, okay. Amazing, Hala. It worked. Okay. So right now we loaded the first animation, which is called walk. So now we are going to create our second animation, which is called up. So I'm going to press on this button. It's called add animation. So I'm going to click on it. And it's going to create a new animation. It's going to be called the new animation, okay? By the way, it's okay if this one disappeared. I'm going to rename it. I'm just going to click on it and rename it to up, okay? And then I will click on enter. So now, like I did with the walk animation, I'm going to drag the up animation and drop it. And the second frame and drop it. And that's it. You can try playing it. Okay? So, has everyone been able to add the second animation? And yes, it is familiar like Scratch. Good job, Ahmed. Yes. Okay, amazing. So, um, this is very good, very good. So right now we created the animation, right? But notice that in the player node, we still have a warning. Let's see. This node has no shape, so it cannot collide or interact with other objects. Consider adding a collision shape 2D. Okay, so the issue here is that if we want this node to do collisions, we need to give it a hitbox. Okay? So we need to give it a collision shape 2D. So we are going to select the player node. Okay, please make sure you select the player node. Okay, do not accidentally select this node. No, select the player node and then add a child to it. Okay, we are going to add a collision shape 2D. Okay, so we're going to click on node 2D and under it, we should see this node. It's called collision shape 2D. If you can't find it, you can look it up here. Okay, the collision shape 2D. This is basically the hitbox. So we're going to click on it. okay? And we should add it. Please pay attention to this part. It is a child of the player, okay? It is not a child of the sprite. You could accidentally do this. Look, this is wrong. See, it's warning me. It's wrong. It should not be a child of the sprite. It should be a sibling of it, you know? So make sure, please make sure that the collision shape 2D is actually a child of the player and not the animated sprite. So I'm going to rename it to Hitbox, okay? Hitbox. Because I think this is simpler. Okay, so has everyone been able to perform this step correctly? Again, and make sure you add it as a child of the player. Okay, amazing. So as you can see, thankfully, the warning on the area disappeared, right? We had a warning here, but now it's gone. But here, we have a new warning. Basically, when you make a hitbox, you have to basically give it a shape, okay? So you're going to choose the hitbox. Okay, so now we're going to go into the properties. And in the shape property, right now it's empty because it doesn't have a shape. So we're going to give it a shape. Now I can choose any shape I want. I'm going to click, I can make the hitbox a circle or a rectangle or even a line, but it would be very much easier if I used a capsule because, well, the player is kind of a capsule, you know? And notice that right when I chose it, notice there has been a small change in the player, you know? Let me try to zoom in. Sorry, let me go up and then go left. Zoom in again. As you can see here, we can control the hitbox. Okay? So I'm going to try to kind of make it cover some of the player, okay? You don't have to be too exact, just try to be as accurate as you could, And that's it. We just created the hitbox for the player. So if you don't want to look at the hitbox all the time, you can actually hide it here. We can toggle the visibility. So basically now you don't have to look at this ugly hitbox. You can just look at the player. Of course, the hitbox will of course still work, but it's hidden, okay? So yeah. Okay, it should be of any size, the hitbox. Well, you should try making it so that it covers the player, Of course, it's the hitbox for the player, okay? So try making it about the same size as a player. Okay, so has everyone been able to basically add the hitbox? Okay. Has anyone had any problems? Okay, very good, amazing. Okay, this is really amazing. Amazing, Omar. Okay, amazing. Yes, exactly. You're doing good. You zoomed out and you can't see the character. Okay, so if you happen to zoom out way too much, like this, for example, basically just select your nodes and then click on this icon. This will center the view. And then just keep clicking on the plus. Okay? Uh, it says error, I don't have the circle. Okay. Um, choose the hitbox, go to the right. In the shape attribute, you have to create a capsule. Okay? You have to click on empty and create a capsule. ممكن تعيد الشرح من البداية؟ لا معلش ما نقدر. المحاضرة مسجلة ويمديك ترجعين. Okay. So, I think this is really good progress. I'm going to hide the hitbox. Now we are going to save the scene. Okay? We are going to scene. I'm going to click on scene and then click on save scene. Okay? Now I am going to save the player scene. Okay? So here we have the assets and our game scene. So now we're going to add another scene, the player. So as you can see by default, it's called player, because it's the same name as our like node. So I'm just going to click on save. And we saved the scene, okay? So now I'm actually going to go back to the game scene, okay? This is the first scene we created. So what I'm gonna do is now I'm actually gonna add the player scene to the game scene, right? Because like we said, games are just scenes inside of scenes, okay? So remember how we said how the sort of difference between a node and a scene is kind of blurry? How, with how a scene is basically a collection of nodes, it's kind of the same thing. They're kind of very similar. So basically here we can treat a scene like it's a node, okay? So we're going to add this scene as a child of this node. So I'm going to choose game, and instead of adding a node, I'm going to add a scene as a child, okay? And I'm going to see all the scenes that I have I've created so far, the game scene and the player scene. I'm just going to choose the player scene. And yeah, here we go. Now, as you can see, uh, the game scene has two children, the background and the player scene. But you can see that if you remember, the player scene had three nodes, right? It had the root node and two other nodes, right? Well, where are they here? We can't see them. Well, they are here. Don't worry. We just can't see them because it's easier if you can't see them, Don't worry. We still have our sprites and our hitbox because, well, they are here. Don't worry. But they're hidden. Okay? So I'm going to move the player to the middle. I'm going to choose the player and then choose this thing. And I'm just going to move it to the middle. Okay? Okay, so let me see if you guys had any questions. It's fine to drag and drop from the file system as well, right? Yes, that's valid. For example, I'm going to delete this now just to demonstrate. Very good, Humaira. I can drag the player scene like this. Look. Bam. It worked. This is also valid. Very good. Yeah, you can do it. Muhannad, yes, you can do it. Okay. So, right now, I'm going to try running the game. Okay? As you can see, now when we run the game, we have the player in the middle. Okay? So, I think we're making some progress here. Right now, the size of the player is a bit too big. I don't think it's fitting, so I'm going to go back to the player scene. And I'm going to go to, I'm going to zoom out. I'm going to go back to the sprite. Okay? And I'm going to go to transform. Okay, I'm going to choose the sprite. I'm going to go under the transform section. You're going to see a lot of information. I'm going to go to the scale here. Notice we have the X scale and the Y scale. I'm going to change, one of them. I'm going to set it, instead of it being 1, I'm going to set it to 0.5. Okay, and notice they're both connected. So I basically made the player half of its size, okay? And also the hitbox, I'm going to make it visible. I have to make it smaller now. Okay? I'm just going to shrink it. Okay, just to make it look, better. And that's it. So I'm going to save it now. I'm going to save the scene because we changed stuff. And now notice that when we go back to the game scene, I'm going to hide the hitbox. And now when I go back to the game scene, sorry, wait, let me save it after I hit the hitbox. I notice the player is now much smaller. Even if I run the game, you can see that the player is much smaller. So make sure to do this step. We want the player to be small, okay? Has anyone had any trouble with changing the size of the player? Okay. If you had any trouble, you can tell us on the chat. Okay. How do I run كيف تشغل اللعبة؟ اختار هذه F5. Okay. Okay, so make sure, please don't forget to change the hitbox. It would be really funny if the player was really small, but imagine if the hitbox was very big, right? It would be very unfair. يعني بيكون يعني شيء غير عادل أبدا. بيكون مضحك لو الشخصية صغيرة بس الهيتبوكس مرة كبير. يعني لو في هنا جاء أعداء بصير دامج مع إنه أصلا ما لمسه. فيب لا تنسون تخلونه صغير. Okay. My hitbox shrunk with the scale. The reason why your hitbox shrunk with the scale is, I think, because you shrunk the player, okay? Or maybe maybe you accidentally added the hitbox as a child of the sprite, maybe. But I think, Hala, I think you probably scaled the player, which is okay. Yes, I'm gonna show you a fight. Yeah, don't worry, Abdul Rafai, I'm gonna help you. I did shrink the player. Okay, yeah, that's okay. Don't worry about it. Um, okay, so Rania, uh, I noticed you created two scene. I'm sorry, I meant you have two nodes named game. You don't have to. You don't need this. You just need one of them. Okay. You don't need the blue one. Okay. So right now, I'm excited because we're gonna start programming the input. Okay, we're gonna start moving the player, but before we do that, we have to define some input actions first. Okay, so follow with me. Go to project, click on project, click on project settings, and we're going to ignore this. Choose input map. Okay, so I want to make sure that everyone has reached this screen. Okay, please, everyone open this window. Like I said, go to project, project settings, and you're going to see this. Click on input map. Okay, please, everyone open this page because we're going to define some very important things. Okay, everyone make sure that you managed to open it. Okay, amazing. So right now, we are going to add the sort of input events, okay? The names of the keys. So first of all, in our game, the player will be able to move, to the left, up, down, and right. So we're going to add a new action. Okay, click on add the new action and type move right. Okay, this will be our first action. Okay, so we're going to click on add. So as you can see, when I added this new action, right now we just added it, okay, but we're not done yet. Okay, thank you, Humera, for adding this. Right now, I have an action, it's called move right. But this action is not really linked to any keys, okay? So I'm gonna add my first key. Okay, so the first key I will add, I will just click on my keyboard the right key, okay, on the arrow, the right arrow key, right? And notice immediately when I clicked on my keyboard, when I clicked on this first, sorry, when I clicked on it, I immediately got the right arrow key, okay? How do I add it? You click on the add button. After you write the name, you click on add, okay? So as I said here, the first key is going to be the right arrow key. So after you click it, okay, you're just going to click on OK. Like this. Okay, amazing, amazing. Wow, you're really fast. Amazing, Yusuf. Amazing, yes. Exactly. Very good. I guess move right should be D. Notice. So right now, I just right now for the move right, I chose right. You know, the right arrow key. But also, I'm gonna add another action, the D, because in a lot of games we move with something called WASD or WASD. So we're gonna click on D, and that's also valid. So now we have two control schemes. Okay, we can use WASD if you want, or if you prefer, the player will be able to use the arrow key. Both of them work. And additionally, we can add controller support. As you can see here, Godot works with controllers. You go to joypad buttons and you can see here controllers. Okay, you can choose D-pad right. Okay, D-pad right, and bam. Um, Omar. Okay, this is good, but I don't know why it chose R. Okay, I would probably remove the R. I didn't say R, I meant the right key, you know, the right arrow key. Okay, so as you can see here, this is sort of the beautiful thing about Godot. Um, you can define multiple like map, you know, like this action, I mapped it to 3 different buttons, okay? The WASD, the arrow keys, and also any controller. Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, all of it will work. If I'm connecting a controller, will it work? Yes, it will work. You don't have to do anything. Just connect it and it will work. Okay, so now I'm going to add the other actions. We added move right. Now I will add move left. Move left. Okay. I'm going to click on the plus. The first thing I will do is the left arrow key. Okay. And then I will add the A key for WASD. And finally, for controllers, I'm going to go to joypad. I'm going to choose D-pad left. Okay, there it is, D-pad left. You can also use the built-in actions. Yes, you can, but for good practice, it's better to use these actions, you know, create your own actions, but it's okay. It's up to you. Is this okay? Amazing. Yes, it's amazing. Very good. Very good, Ibrahim. Now, Hala, very good. You guys are doing amazing. Very good. Now I'm going to add move up. I'm going to add the up key and the W key. And finally, the D-pad up key. And finally, the move down option. First of all, yeah, S and down and joypad. Where is D-pad down? Yes. Oops. Wait. Okay. Up for WASD input. What does A mean? If you're using the WASD input, like most games, very good, Lily. Yes, amazing. How about touch screen? Now look, a very good question. Touch screen is, you know, another subject. You do it in a different way, okay? But very good that you thought about this. But today we're not going to be able to do touch screen. It's for PC players. Yes, thank you, Lily, for explaining. So I think this part was very good. We're going to click on close. Sorry, go back. I apologize. We're going to add one more action called confirm. Confirm, when the player dies and we see the game over, we want to confirm that the player wants to play again. So we're going to add it, and we're going to set the keys to, we're going to choose the space bar. Okay, or enter also. Also, we can add the Joy-Con, the joypad, the A button. Okay, this one. And that's it. I just want you to add one more action, the confirm action, okay? You can set it to anything you like. Okay. So now I'm going to close this. So now I'm finally gonna start writing code. Okay, like this, amazing. Yes, Muhannad, very good. We're gonna choose the player node, and I am going to click on this icon. This icon basically adds a new script and attaches it to the node. Okay, we are going to attach a script to this node. Um, so basically, I'm gonna click on it, and notice we got a new window. The first option we have is the programming language. Of course, we're going to use GD script, and it's pretty much the only option. And about inherits, it inherits node 2D. It means that this script will be attached to the node 2D, okay? Sorry, the area 2D. So just keep this as is, okay? And for the template, don't mind this. We're not going to use any templates. Just keep it as is, and also ignore this. Now notice the path. Notice that the script is basically going to be the same name as the scene. Okay, didn't we create a scene called player? Right, here it is, player.tcn. But the difference is that the script is player.gd. Okay, so they have the same name by default, but the what's it called? The extension is different. Okay. So, and now we just click on create. And as you can see, we have like three things that happened, okay? First of all, notice that right now we can no longer see the player. We can just see code. That's because we chose the script window, okay? You can go back to the game, you click on 2D. Okay, then you can click on script to go back, okay? Secondly, if you notice the files, we created a new file called player.gd. Okay, so they both the player scene and the player's script, they both have the same name, but the extension is different. Okay, and finally, notice that in the scene tree for the player, right besides the player, there is an icon for script. Okay, and if I hover over it, I can see that the script is a player script. So that's a really nice way that Godot shows us that, hey, by the way, this node is connected to a script. Okay. Let me see if you guys had any problems. Mine already has a script. It's okay. You can just delete it or keep it, whatever. It doesn't matter. I put A for controller. Amazing. Yeah, good. If your script already has code, that's okay. Don't worry about it. It's not gonna affect us. I have 12. I don't know what you mean by 12. Okay. No, I just want to make sure that everyone has been able to create the script, okay, and is able to see this. Can you repeat the script part? Did we change any settings? No, we did not change any settings. Basically, we went to the player, we simply attached a new script, and we just created it, okay? We did not change any settings. I was simply showing you the options, okay? But I did not change anything. I have a font log up of it. Can you show me? Rani, I don't know what you mean. We left everything as default, yes. I don't know how to add the attached node. No. Basically, click on the node, the player node, and click on this icon. And it will attach the script. Okay? Adnan, yes. Very good, Rania, yes. Oh, you mean you have 12 lines? It's okay, just keep them. It's okay. It will not affect us. Like this. Yes, amazing. Very good, Hala. Okay. 1 hour has already gone. Okay. Yes, I'm aware of the time. Thank you for reminding me. Of course, we're not going to be able to finish the game today. Today is part one. Tomorrow, we're going to continue, inshallah. No, 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 we're not done. Wait. We're not done. Okay, so now we're gonna continue. Um, okay, right. We just created the script, so we'll go back to the script tab. Okay, so right now, what I want to do is check for input, okay? I want to check if the player has pressed the right button so I can move the player to the right, okay? So, if you guys remember from yesterday's lecture, we talked about how there is a specific function in Godot that basically runs every frame. Okay, so it will run 60 times per second. Okay, once every frame. And this function is called the process function. So right now, I'm going to define the process function. I'm going to type the func keyword, func. Okay, so basically, func means that I'm about to define a function, okay, a new function. And notice it's already giving me an error. It says expected function name. And I'm going to do that. I'm going to add a function name. So I'm going to click on space. And the name of the function is the process function. So I'm going to type process. And notice that the engine is already helping me with this sort of autocomplete. Okay. So I'm going to choose the first option, which is the process function. And notice how the engine has helped me. Okay. So let me first of all answer your questions. Yeah, if statements, we're going to do that. Do I delete all the existing code? It's fine. You can keep it. We're going to rewrite it anyway. Delta. Yeah, don't worry. We're going to talk about delta time. Thank you, Hala, for explaining about the script. Okay, so right now, let me unpack this. Like I said, func, let me zoom in. Okay. Func is basically means that I am defining a new function. أنا قاعد أعرف دالة جديدة. Okay? And then right after it, we have the name of the function. Okay? It's called underscore process. Okay? It's already built into Godot. Okay? So just like how in mathematics, we have functions that take input. If you remember in mathematics, don't we have f of x? Don't we have g of x, remember? We have f prime of x. Just like that, we have this in Godot, okay, in programming. This function takes as input a variable named delta, okay, and it does not return any output. Void means that it does not return output, okay? So in between the parentheses, this is the input of the function, and after the arrow, this is the output, okay? And of course, after it, we're gonna add the colon. Okay, this is very important. Okay, what does the arrow mean? The arrow specifies the return type. So in mathematics, you know, if you remember, we used to have f of x, right? And for example, it equals x plus 1. So this function as input takes an x and returns x plus 1. So the input is a number and the output is also a number. But here in programming, we have functions that take input but do not return any output, okay? You will see how. But basically, they are very similar to mathematic functions. I have physics process. It's okay, but no, we want to use the process. So delete it, and I want you to write the process function, okay? So right now, I'm going to press enter, and notice when I pressed enter and I went down one line, notice that I already have indentation, okay? I have space. I have, there's a tab, okay? Now, what does the tab mean? The tab means that inside of this, after the tab, the code is included in the function. So for example, imagine this is code, and then I'm going to write more code, and then more code. For example, all of this code is part of the process function. How did I know? Because of the indentation, because of the spaces. Okay? For example, if I were to define another function, another function, for example, just an example, okay? Notice I also have some code here. How can I tell which code belongs to which function? Based on the indentation. Right here we have space. So this code belongs to this function. And here we have no indentation, so it does not belong to any function. But here we have indentation. So we know this code is with this function. Do you understand? If you do, for example, this is wrong. You are saying that this is a function inside of a function. This is not correct. Do you understand me? This is exactly like Python. If you program in Python, you know that the indentation is very important. Okay? Just like this in GD script. So I'm going to delete this. And don't forget the indentation. Okay. So, right now, I want to check if basically the player has pressed the right key. Now, how do I do that? First of all, I'm going to enter the if keyword. So if is going to be a condition. If input, capital I, N, P, U, T, input. Okay, so what is input? Input is basically an object. It's an object in Godot that basically contains a lot of very useful functions inside of it and a lot of very useful information. Okay, so how can I look inside? It's basically a box. Okay, I want you to imagine an object as a box that contains a lot of really cool functions that we can use. Now, how do I look inside the box? How do I peek inside the box? Well, I just type a dot. Notice, now when I type the dot, I can see everything. Notice all of this information that will help me take input, okay? So many useful functions. So, right now, I am looking for a very specific function called isActionPressed. So I'm going to type isActionPressed, okay? We have two similar functions. We have isActionJustPressed and isActionPressed. I want isActionPressed, okay? So make sure you choose this one. Okay, so right now I have just created, I'm sorry, I'm going to use this function called isActionPressed. But look, this function takes as input an action. Look, it takes an action. Basically, it's asking the name of the key. So, because in my if statement, I'm saying, if a specific key is pressed, then do this thing. So it's asking which key exactly. So which one do you guys think it is? I want you guys to think. I want to move right. So which one am I going to choose? Of course, logically, I'm going to choose move right. Okay. So, okay, let's revise what we just did. So I'm saying if this is a condition, okay? This whole thing is a condition. So if this condition is true, then we're going to move to the right. What is the condition? The condition is that the right key is pressed. Okay, that's it. So input, like I said, is an object that contains functions. How do I look inside this object? I use the dot. The dot let me see all the functions, and I use this function, isActionPressed. Okay, do not use isActionJustPressed. No, use this one. And this function, when I call it, I need to give it a string. Okay, I need to give it a piece of text. Look, if I give it move right like this, I will get error. Because I need to I need to surround them by double quotation. Okay, so surround them by double quotation. So this is very important. Okay, Does it mean the right arrow on the keyboard? Well, if you remember, in our project settings, we defined all of these things. When we said move right, so do you understand? So right now, when I check that the move right key is pressed, I'm checking for the arrow key and the and also the joypad. So all of them work. All of them are correct. Okay, do you understand? It will use the key you attached. Yes, exactly. Yes, if you set up inputs manually, amazing. Um, where is it? Someone asked about GD script is input is case sensitive. Yes, it is case sensitive. Yes. Okay. What's the difference between pressed and just pressed? Amazing question. Pressed is when you're pressing and holding the button, and we have another function. It's called just pressed. It's when you like you press the you press it like once, and let go. Physical mean the arrow. Um, I'm honestly not sure what you mean. I'm sorry. What do you mean by physical the arrow? You mean what do you mean, Ibrahim? Okay, so after this, so after the condition, we have to add colon. Okay, this is very important. These two dots are extremely important. So now we press enter. And notice again, after I pressed enter, now I have gone down. Now I have two levels of indentation. Why do I have two levels? Because right now, the um, the code for this condition, if this condition is correct, I will run this code and this code only. Okay? How do I know which code to run? Based on the indentation. I only have one level. You have to add another level. Press tab, okay? And make sure that you add the colon. Physical means on the keyboard. Yes, that's what you mean. Okay, so let's make sure we understand this. So right now, if the player presses the right key, what do I want to do? Okay, what I want to do is increase the position of the player. Okay, I want to move the player. So I'm gonna type position. Okay, so which position? So if you notice when we use the dot to look inside the position, because it's also an object, we have the X position and Y position. عندنا الإحداثيات السينية والإحداثيات الصادية. Okay? So we can move either along the X axis or the Y axis. يعني يمدينا يا نتحرك على محور السينات أو محور الصادات. So of course, because we are moving right, we're going to choose X. Okay? So position.x, we want it to increase. Okay? Increase. So we're going to do plus equals. Plus equals means we're going to increase it. Increase it by, for example, 100. 100 pixels per frame. Okay? Per second, I mean. And don't forget to multiply by delta. Okay? This is extremely important. So, why exactly are we multiplying by delta? So, like I explained yesterday, some computers will run the game at a very high FPS, okay? They will run it at like 300 FPS, and we don't want that. If the game gets run at 300 FPS, then basically the player will move very fast on stronger computers. And for example, if I were to run this game on a weak computer, a low-end device, a very old computer, it's going to run at like what, 20 frames per second? So the player will move slowly. So for example, I could develop a video game and with Godot, and if I forget to multiply by delta, I could send it, for example, to my friend. And if my friend has a very high-end computer, a very powerful computer, basically the game will run very fast for my friend. The player will move very fast. And my friend will not be able to enjoy the game. He will ask me, He will tell me, why is the player moving so fast? And I will be confused. I will tell him that no, on my machine, it works fine. And same story, if you send it to your friend with a weak computer, he will tell you that the game is running very slowly and the character is very slow. Why? Because you forgot to multiply by delta. So your game runs differently on all different computers. Okay, amazing, Hala. Yes, so it can run the same at different computers. Good job, Osama. Yes. Okay. So let's try running the game. First of all, I'm gonna save this code. I'm gonna run the game. تقريبا بنخلص على 9. صراحة أنا حابب نمدها أكثر 9:30 بس ما أدري. Okay, so notice that when I press the right key, the player is moving to the right. Nice. So it worked. Notice he moves to the very end. Girl, did you save the code? I blinked. Yes, I saved the code. شلون أحط دلتا؟ دلتا already موجودة عندك. هي مدخل للدالة. تمام؟ فأنت بس اضرب 100 اضربها في دلتا. فهمت كيف؟ Okay, so did this code work for everyone? I want you to test the code. I want you to see if the player can move to the right. Okay, very good, Muhannad. Amazing. Right now, I want to make sure everyone's code can move to the right. Okay. Amazing. Yes, very good. Control S. Yes, Control S can save. By the way, Control S. Amazing. Yes. Okay, very good. Okay, very good. So, Lily, looks like you have a problem. No, Lily, this is not the correct function. Action press is not the correct function. We want to use is action pressed. Okay, you did everything correctly, but you have to choose this function. Do you see? And also make sure you write the name of the key correctly. I think you did it correctly. Very good, Omar. Amazing. Okay, so make sure you choose this function and make sure this is correct. By the way, if you're having trouble, maybe you wrote this incorrectly. Maybe make sure it's the same thing you defined here. The key name is capital. Yes, exactly. Exactly. Yes, that's what I was gonna say. But in general, if you can see that the autocorrect will help you. So try to use autocorrect. Bro is shy. Amazing. Yes, amazing. Very good. Very good, Amal. Okay. So right now, we need to understand the indentation. So I'm saying that, so all of this code is inside the function, okay? How do I know? Because it's all one level of indentation, at least one level. And this code specifically is yes inside the function, but specifically with the if statement. Okay. So how do I know? Because of the indentation. So right now I'm gonna write I'm gonna write tab once, and that's it. Okay, so now I'm not gonna write if, I'm gonna write else if. Okay, elif. Elif, it means else if. So if the first condition is true, this code will run, and that's it. Else this condition is false, this code will not run, and we will check the next condition. Okay? So the next condition is going to be very similar to the one above. If input dot is action pressed, this time I'm going to choose move left, and then I'm going to add a colon, and then I'm going to press enter. Okay? So notice what I'm doing here. Every frame, I'm going to check. First of all, is the right key pressed? If it is pressed, we're going to move to the right. And if it's not pressed, then that's it. Sorry, I mean, if it's pressed, we're not going to check, in the same frame, we're not going to check if the left key is pressed. So in one frame, Every frame, we only check for one of them. They cannot run at the same time. So very good job, Muhannad, very good. But Muhannad, I want you to change the last three F to else F, because I only want one of them to run at a time. Okay? Do you understand? So instead of F, add LF. It means else F. Um, okay, so Lily, the reason you got an error is because your code is right now running. Okay, so you cannot save your code. So Lily, I want you to, I'm going to show you what happened to you, Lily. So right now, what's happening is that you are trying to save your code like this. See? It's going to crash. See, it's because the code is running and you got an error, but you are trying to save it. So press OK, and then Lily, I want you to stop the code, stop running the game, and fix your error, and then save, okay? I guess it should be LF, yes. Yusuf. Very good, Yusuf. Very good, excellent. Okay, very good. Doesn't if it yes, Hala, doesn't if work too? It will, but when we add the animation, we're gonna have some trouble with the if, so that's why I decided to make it simpler. I choose LF. Okay, good thing you fixed it. Why it's autocorrect me? Yes, not really autocorrect, it's autocomplete. Yeah, exactly. Very good, Yusuf. That's why I chose LF. The player moves down. Very good, Sarah. I will explain to you why you are encountering this issue. Very good. Yes, this is normal. I like the diagonal walking too. Me too. I also want it to be diagonal, but the issue is we're gonna have some trouble with the animation. You know? Okay. So right now, if the player presses the left key, I'm gonna go to the position of the player, the X position, and instead of increasing the X position, I'm gonna decrease it. Okay, why? Because in mathematics, when we increase X, we go to the right. And when we decrease X, we go to the left, okay? Just like mathematics. And the same, multiply 100 by delta. Sorry? Okay, so right now I'm gonna save the scene. And I am going to run the game. And now I can move left and right. Also, I cannot, by the way, I cannot move left and right at the same time. Why? Because I programmed it so that only one of them can run. Okay. Lily, your code is correct, yes. But it's not necessary to, when you say plus negative 100, you can just say minus 100. Renad, no, Lily's code is correct. It's complex, but it's technically correct. But yes, Sarah's code, yes, exactly. It's recommended you do it like Sarah did. Okay. It goes up. Hala, yes. I know exactly what's happening with you. I'm going to explain it. Hala, yes, your indentation is correct. Do you have any trouble? I'm pressing the bottom arrow. Yes, yes, guys. I know you are right now very impatient. Yes, this is something with Godot. I will explain it now. Okay, so in mathematics, ever since we were children, we were taught that on the y-axis, when we go up, the y-axis increases, right? And when we go down, the y-axis decreases. But in game engines, it's actually the other way around, okay? So right now, I'm going to program going up. If input dot is action pressed, move up. What I'm going to do is position dot y. So if this was mathematics, I would increase y. But this is a game engine, so we will decrease y. by 100 multiplied by delta, okay? This is why all of you were having problems. Hello, Muhammad. Okay. Sarah, you asked me about this. A bunch of you asked. Yeah, hello, Muhammad. Why? So why is it in game engines? I'm gonna be honest with you. I honestly don't know. But usually in game engines, the y is axis is basically flipped. It's backwards. It's like someone made a mistake and the whole industry. Exactly, yes. Bro, wait till you get to like 3D. And when we get to like the Z axes, bro, like everything is different. With Unity, like for example, like the Z axis is flipped also. Like it's really, and also Blender, like it's completely different. The Y is flip. But with 2D it's simple, but with 3D it's actually the conventions are actually really like all over the place. Okay, so finally, we're gonna add the last one. Um, is action pressed? Move down. Finally, position dot y. I'm gonna increase it now by 100 times delta, and we should be done. Okay. Oops. Here's our final code. So you can save it with Control S. And finally now, the confirm. We're not going to do the confirm yet. Thank you for reminding me. Finally now we can move, right? Up, down, left, and right. Okay. So this is really good. But like, I think our character looks a bit scary, right? I mean, why isn't he moving? Like animations. Remember, we programmed all those cute animations, right? Remember this? And remember this one? So we're gonna work with them. I'm gonna hide the hitbox here. Hide it. Okay. Um, I'm gonna basically implement those animations. Okay. So if you remember, we made two animations. One of them is called walk. This is it. And one of them is called up. Okay. So right now, uh, when the player presses the right key, we're basically gonna play the walk animation, okay? But first of all, we need to understand something. The animations, like we said, are stored inside of the animated sprite 2D, okay? And the script itself is actually inside the player script, the player node. So right now we have a parent node, and it basically needs to access information and basically um, communicate with its child node. So the way we do that, the way a parent communicates with a child very easily, is basically we create a variable and we store a reference to this node. So pay attention. I'm gonna drag it little. I'm gonna drag this node and I'm gonna drop it here. But before I drop it, I'm gonna click and hold the control key. Okay, on my keyboard, I am holding the control key and I'm gonna let go now. And notice, it basically created a variable. Okay, it's a pretty long variable, but don't worry, we're gonna like dissect it step by step. First of all, onReady. What does onReady mean? It means that this variable is actually special. Okay, it's a node. Okay, basically with nodes, um, we add this sort of special annotation called onReady, just to kind of tell the engine, by the way, this is a node, so we kind of do this. Okay, this is really important. After that, we have var. The var keyword is basically used to define a variable. Okay, when we define a new variable, we have to type the var keyword. Okay. Um, finally, not finally. Well, here we have the name of the variable. Okay. It's called It's the same name. By default, it was the same name as the node. It's an animated sprite 2D. Okay. And then we have a colon. Then finally, we have the name of the variable. Sorry, the type, the data type. So the type of this node is animated sprite 2D. So it's kind of the same as its name, you know? That makes it easy. Okay. And by the way, you can remove the type in Godot. Okay. You can remove it, but also you can keep it for clarity's sake. You can do something really cool, which is called type inference, where if you add this symbol, like basically Godot itself figures out the data type. Okay, you don't have to specify it. Okay, and finally, this variable, all of this, is equal to the $sign and then the name of the node. So basically, it's a path to the node, kind of like how we have the file path. Here we have the node path. From here to here, it's just the name of the node, okay? And that's it. Now let me see all your questions. سلطان very good ممتاز انت سويتها من زمان nice كود فخم ممتاز انت متقدم علينا. I'm sorry, how can I close the script tab? From above here, 2D script and script, but I think you figured it out. Can you please tell me why I am only typing without auto help? You have to, I don't know why. Can you send me a picture of your code? What data type is it? Okay, amazing. Amazing question, Sarah. The data type of animated sprite 2D is actually animated sprite 2D. It's the type of the node. Okay? It's not a string. It's not an integer. It's a node. What node? The animated sprite 2D node. Okay. Okay, Omar. Interesting. So the reason why you don't have the script sign is because it's not attached. Okay, you need to go back to the player scene like this, Omar, and you need to make sure that you attach the script. Okay, so just click on this icon, select this, and then click on this, and the script will be attached because I can see that you already wrote the code. Okay. Oh, sorry. I myself accidentally removed it. Okay. So right now, Omar, you see this. Okay. You accidentally disconnected the sprite, the script. So you can just connect it again, load, and that's it. Okay. Um, okay. Okay. Salah ad-Din. The reason, Salah ad-Din, why you are getting this error is because you are not doing the correct indentation. Okay. So you need to المسافات يعني the spaces. The spaces are very important. You need to make it look exactly like my spaces. Okay, exactly. Do you understand? Okay, this is for you صلاح الدين. عندي اللغة عربي شلون أحولها إنجليزي؟ ما أدري، أنا لاحظت ناس عندهم هذه المشكلة فأنا مستغرب الصراحة. برسل لكم فيديو يقول لكم كيف تغيير لغة الجهاز. أتوقع في طريقة بدون ما تغير. Okay, so right now we explained how this variable is basically contains a reference to the animated sprite node. Okay, so we have the animations stored here. So now that we have this variable, now we can access the animations. So when the player moves to the right, after I increment the position, look what I'm going to do. Notice it's the same amount of indentation, okay, because all of this is inside the same branch. I'm going to type the name of the node, which is, animated sprite 2D, dot. So because nodes are objects, I'm going to, because it has a lot of very useful functions and data, okay? Okay, so right now I'm looking inside my animated sprite 2D. I'm going to play my animations. I'm going to communicate to with my node. Okay, I'm gonna call the play function, play, and notice now I have the names of the animations, up and walk. So I'm gonna choose the walk animation. Okay. صار عندي ظرف ممكن اطلع. بس حاول انك لازم تعبي استبيان الحضور. اوكي. مهم جدا. بنرسله بعد ما نخلص. يب عشان الشهادة. Okay, so now in this branch, I'm saying if the player presses the right key, first of all, I want the player to move to the right, and then after that, I want you to play the walk animation. Okay, I am communicating with the animated sprite 2D. I want it to play the walk animation. And notice they are the same level of indentation. Okay, I didn't fill it yesterday. It's okay. You have to just fill two of them. Samir, did you send an attendance form yesterday? Yes, it wasn't me. My teammate Ahmed, he sent it. So now I'm gonna save and then run the game. I notice that now when I move to the right, it actually plays the animations. Yeah, at least 2 days. So now, do you see what I'm doing? Now it actually plays it right when I start moving right. So that's amazing. Okay. So that's really amazing. It keeps playing though. Amazing. Yeah, exactly. This is and we're gonna fix this. انا ما سجلت امس بس كنت حاضر. شوف، سجل اليوم وبكره وخلاص ممتاز. Can anyone please find the error? صلاح الدين, error, like I said, your error is that the amount of indentation is not correct. Okay, it needs to be correct. المسافات أقصد يا صلاح الدين. Okay, so I want you to look at something now. Let me first of all play the walk animation. So this is very good for when the player is walking to the right. Okay, but what if the player is to walk to the left? Well, I can actually I can go to offset. I have these two attributes, flip H and flip V. Flip H will flip the sprite horizontally. Notice? It will flip it. هيعكسها أفقيا. And flip V will flip it vertically. هيصير رأسا على عقب, upside down. Okay? Yeah, exactly. It's so convenient. إيه هو قفل حق أمس. It should add the left eye animation. Yes, exactly. How do I stop from moving when not any key is pressed? Don't worry, we will figure it out. I will teach you. My animation doesn't work when running. I don't know why. Can you send me the code, please? Show me. Oh, نرسل الحضور لسه. Okay. So yeah, this is very convenient that we can just do this. So right now we are going to code the movement for going left. So basically, if the player presses the left key, after we move to the left, we are going again to go to the animated sprite 2D, and we will tell it to play the walk animation, okay? But then after that, we are going to go to the sprite again, and this time we are going to set flip H. We are going to set it to true, okay? Because by default it is off. Did we press on V or H? Look, V means that it will be vertical and H is horizontal. Okay. So okay, Amal, I don't know why it didn't work for you. Maybe you forgot to define the animations. If you can show me your animations, I will maybe help you with them. So okay, we don't change the setting. No, yes, good. Yes, amazing. Good observation, Renat. We don't change. Now, when it comes to nodes, we can change them in the inspector like this, or we can change them in code. Both of them are correct. But here, in our case, it would make more sense to do it in code. Okay? Well, you have to do it in code. Do you understand? Pretty much anything you can do in the inspector, by the way, you can do in code. You know? في سؤال بس خارج شوي. موف اند سلايد مو معانا، اوكي. هذا للكاركتر بودي. اوكي، ما جاء رابط الحضور. اوكي. So right now we are going to try. So let's see. So when I go to the right, the player plays the correct animation. Now when I go to the left, it will be flipped. But then when I go to the right again, it's now stuck. Okay, علقت. That's an issue. Why? Because when we move to the left once, we set flip edge to true, and then it's stuck like this. So now every time we walk to the right, we make sure that flip edge is false. Okay, every time, even if it's already false, we're gonna make sure it's false. Okay, it's not. Yeah, it's a bug. Yes. Why don't we do it before the move command? It doesn't matter. Okay. Very good observation, Hala. We can flip it if you want. You know, maybe you can add this, for example, before this. It does not matter. Okay, same thing. I didn't tell him to flip the edge false. Yes, exactly. Yep. So when we move right, we want to make sure that flip edge is false. But when we move left, make sure it's true. Okay, even if it's already true. Your line 3, I don't have it. How can I? Your line. Okay. Basically, I'm gonna delete this just so pay attention, Salahuddin. I'm gonna drag this node, drag it with my mouse, and then hold Control on my keyboard, and then I'm gonna let go of it, okay? And that's it, okay? You can remove the type, and that's how you get it. So now, when will we finish? When we finish this part, the animation, when we finish it, we will send the form, okay? So as you can see now it works perfectly fine. Okay. Now we finished moving to the right and moving to the left. Now we're gonna do moving up. So we're just gonna play animated sprite 2D.play up. Okay. And just like we did with horizontally, we're gonna do it vertically. Okay. We're gonna do this. So we're gonna make sure that it's not flipped. Animated sprite 2D.flip v. Flip vertical, it's not flip vertically, it's false. Okay. And when the player goes down, again, we're gonna play the up animation, except we're gonna flip it. Okay. So what's the opposite of up? It's down. Okay. And we're almost done. So right now we are almost done. Okay. So now look, left, up, right, and down. Okay. Would it be better to initialize at the beginning? No, no, it's not better because it's already going to be false and it does not matter. Okay, no, it's not really better. It's already initialized. The game is not run because you have error, Hala. You cannot run the game if there is error in your code. So show me your code. I can see some red. And yeah. Okay, so we're almost done, but notice that when the player stops moving, the animation is still going. How do we stop this? We add an else statement. So first of all, we check if the player is pressing the right key. If he's not, we check if he's pressing the left key. If he is not, then the up key. If he is not, then we go finally to the down key. If none of these are being pressed, finally, we do else. Else, nothing is being pressed, then we stop the animation. We do animated sprite 2D dot stop. Okay. Make sure it's all on the same level, by the way, guys. Very important. Faisal, it looks like you're having some trouble with something. I found my mistake. Okay, Faisal. If you can take a screenshot, it would honestly be better because I could see the syntax highlighting, okay? So try to take a screenshot of your screen, and I think I will be able to help you much more easily. you're sending her the code. I'm sorry. Um, okay, Faisal. I thought you had a problem. Okay, very good. Oh, you're helping them. So now, um, notice now that when the player is not pressing any key, notice that the player is no longer playing the animation. Okay, it stops. Okay, and yeah. So now we're almost done, but we have time, and I'm gonna add one more feature to the game. So this is the code so far, okay? This is the working code. Um, so right now, um, I'm gonna see what's wrong with Hala's code first. Hala, you forgot the colon, النقاط الرئيسية, okay? After the if condition, don't forget the colons, okay, Hala? No, it's not perfect. Notice that the player can exit the screen. Okay, we don't want that to happen. The player is going out of bounds. I'm going to create my own sprites. Amazing. Do that. We don't want that to happen. So after the movement code, okay, we're going to go down. After the movement, we basically want the player's position to be inside the size of the screen. So let me explain. Let me go back to the game scene. So as you can see here, this is our screen. Okay. Basically, this is the player. I do not want the player to go here or here, and I do not want it to go here or here, okay? I want it to be stuck inside of this, okay? So, this point right here, you can see here, if I were to look at the player's position, this is basically the origin point, okay? This is point 0, 0. And then if I go to the right, for example, this here is 360 for the X and 0 for the Y. So basically, this is the screen width. Okay, هذا عرض الشاشة. Okay, it's 360. And basically, if we go down here, we can see the screen height, 720. And right here, we have 360 by 720. So notice that if we can get the size of the screen, we can program it so that the player cannot leave the screen, okay? So how do we do that? It's really easy. Godot makes it very easy. I'm going to go back to the code. So basically, I'm going to set the position. It's going to always be equal to, it's going to be equal to the position. It's going to be equal to itself, but dot clamp. Okay. What does clamp mean? Basically, clamp means that we're going to get this value, we're going to get it stuck between two values. Okay, it's not going to be smaller than the first value and not bigger than the second. Okay, so for the first argument of this function, I don't want the player's position to be less than 0, 0. Remember? Remember here, the x is 0 and the y is 0. So the player will not be able to go here or here, okay? So the minimum value is vector 2. A vector 2 means it's a 2D point, by the way. As 0, comma 0. Let me zoom in. Okay, so we're not done yet. The minimum value is 0, 0. Okay, the maximum value is going to be the size of the screen. So how do I get the size of the screen? I'm going to call another function. First of all, I'm going to create a variable with the var keyword. I'm going to call it screen size. Okay, screen size is going to equal to get viewport rect. Like we said before, viewport rect is basically the screen. Now I'm going to get the size of the screen. Okay. Basically now I have the size of the screen size. I'm going to make it the maximum value. And that's it. Okay, let's slow down. Let me explain. First of all, I'm creating a variable. I am naming it screen size. Okay. I am setting this variable equal to get viewport rect. What is get viewport rect? What is this function? This function will give me the screen. Okay, it will give me all the information about my screen, including its size. So when I get my screen, I am going to look inside it using the dot and get the size. So the size is gonna have an X and a Y, okay? It's gonna be 360 by 720. So I am done with this part, okay? Um, Now I'm setting the position of the player to always be itself, okay? The position is itself, except the value must be stuck between 0, 0 and the screen size that we defined here. Okay, let's try running it. Muhannad, did you create position? Muhannad, no. Sorry, I forgot to explain. This code is still inside of process, Muhannad. We are still inside the process function, so do not forget the indentation. You forgot it. Do you understand? This code will run every frame. So now the player is not able to leave the screen size, okay? And yeah, that's it. Nice. Okay, I want everyone to try it. Lastly, the last change of today before we wrap up, I forgot to do this, but if you notice in the input, when we write the input, every time we increase the position, we increase it by 100. So if we want to change the speed of the player, it will be difficult because we have to go back here and, for example, change it, and then go back here and change it. It's very tedious. So it's better to define a variable speed, okay, unlimited speed. The type of the variable is integer, it's a whole number. I'll have it equal to 100 and 100, okay? And instead of adding here numbers, I will just add speed. يعني هذا متغير يا شباب، بدل ما اكتب الرقم 4 مرات اعرف متغير واحط في الرقم احسن، عشان لو ابغى اغير الرقم خلاص اغيره بمكان واحد. Okay, this is very helpful. So now it's the exact same thing, but now if I want to change the speed, I change it in one place only, and it will change everywhere else. How do I do that? Hala, the indentation is incorrect, Hala. I want you to add 2 tabs. Okay, it needs to be on the same level as the other statements. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so that wraps it up for today. I really hope you guys enjoyed. Can we stop recording, please, Sarah, if you're listening to me? Uh, okay. That's it. Thank you guys so much for attending this the second day of